What is going on, guys? This is Ben here. Hopefully you all are doing well. Today we are going to be going over the best and the worst brawlers and some general tips to hopefully do better in this weekend special ticket event, which is big game. So hopefully you guys are excited. Definitely leave a like if you guys are. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's hop into this episode. So big game is pretty self-explanatory. There's one like huge boss guy that is like in rage. He has a ton of health, a ton of damage, and an increased movement speed with that rage. And then there's 5 other brawlers that are trying to take him out as fast as possible. And the better, if you're the hunters, the faster you take out the big brawler, the better rewards you get. Now, if you're trying to survive and you're that big boss, the longer you survive, the better rewards you're gonna get. So I want to go over the best brawlers that are hopefully give you the best chance to survive if you're the boss, or if you're one of the hunters, to take out the hunter as fast as possible. So my number one brawler, what I think is the best in big game here, is Jesse. It's kind of like 1A and 1B, because there's 2 of them that are right at the top that I think are like, these are the best brawlers right now. So one is Jesse, just number 2 would be Nita, but we'll talk about them kind of differently. So Jesse, she has a lot of times the hunters kind of group up or are near each other, and with Jesse, her bounce shots can literally melt the enemies that they're trying to take out. And you guys know, especially with this map, a lot of times brawlers are grouped up, and that's why Jesse's main attack is super good. But that's not even the best part. The best part is her turret. So like spawnable items, when you are the boss, or the I don't know, you're the one being hunted. I am hesitant to say boss, because you guys know how there's another ticket event now called boss fight. But yeah, when you are the boss basically in big game, you do a ton of damage. Your spawnable items like her turret have incredible amount of health, and they melt. And it's so hard for the hunters to take care of like the turret, or for Nita's case, a bear. So that turret is just insane. Plus, if you have the star power for Jesse, where you can heal up your turret, you can shoot it while the brawlers are trying to take care of it. It's also going to bounce off and maybe hit them and take them out. So Jesse is very good and very annoying. And by the time maybe they focus down your turret, you're most likely already gonna have your next one. That's why Jesse is number 1 here, because just of how annoying that turret is. It makes it incredibly hard to deal with. Then if you have the star power, it's even better. So yeah, with Nita, it's kind of the same concept. Her main attack isn't as powerful, but it actually travels through brawlers. So like you can hit a brawler that's maybe standing here, and then the one behind them as well. So it has a better use that way, but since it doesn't bounce, I don't know, and she's a little bit more close range. But another thing, the same kind of thing, was like her bear. Her bear might be a little bit better than the turret, because that bear is so hard to kill. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most annoying things, that bear's just chasing you. So in a way, it's like Jesse's main attack is better, but Nita's like super with her bear is better as well as a spawnable item. And it's usually always, by the time your bear gets dropped or taken out as the boss, you're gonna have another one. Now the thing with these 2 though, they also are very good when they are trying to hunt the main brawler as well. So you can kind of zone where that brawler is going to go with your turret. Now, obviously, with Jesse, the turret, if you're not the boss, it might die a little quick. But still, you can place it in a good spot, heal it up if you have the star power, and just go from there. And then same with Nita, because they're like the top 2. It used to be a different brawler, which we'll get into a little bit later. But moving on to the next tier, this is kind of like so many brawlers could fall into the number 3 spot. So this is kind of just how I like them, but there's so many brawlers that could fall in here. So number 3 would be Crow. I like him a lot because of his fast movement speed. His main attack basically shows where all, like if you land their main attack, it shows where all of those enemies are that are trying to hunt you, as when you're the big dude, when you're the big boss. And then he has his super that can either just wipe out everyone if they're grouped up, or you can also hop out and bounce away to a different part of the map if you just want to try and run. Because when you're the boss, part of it's like fighting and clearing a path, the other part of it is just like running around and looping around, because you have more movement speed than everyone, and just surviving as long as possible. So it's not always trying to just take out every single brawler that spawns. It's trying to survive and trying to run. Now if you are the hunters, you kind of want to just take out those, do a lot of damage, maybe fall back, heal up, and then go at it again. You don't just want to keep constantly dying and having to run back to the spawn, because that takes a lot of time. And then kind of spread out too. Like, you don't need all of like you that are hunting, you don't need to be all grouped up in one big spot, because you might get just destroyed in one go. Like say Crow jumps on all 4 of you guys, or all 5 of you guys, you're all dead. Or Jesse's thing bounces through a lot of you, you're gonna be so weak. And so try not to group up as much, and plus it doesn't leave as many lanes where the big boss can run through. So Crow's very good at that because it keeps eyes on him, and then even as like a hunter, when you're trying to destroy the big boss with him, it keeps eyes on him as well, like when they're getting that tick with the poison. And then if you have Crow's star power, they're gonna deal 10% less damage too, so it might help you guys survive. Crow is just really annoying to deal with, very fast, very quick. And he's a lot better as the boss, I would say, but he's still a very solid choice and a very solid, annoying brawler to deal with when you were hunting. So number 4, I kind of put in this guy here because of the running away capabilities in his Leon. So Leon just does, I thought about putting him ahead of Crow, but I just like Crow a little bit better. I don't know. I guess maybe because I haven't played Leon as much as I've played Crow in big game, but Leon basically does so much damage up close. And if you can get to the boss, like right next to them, you're gonna shred and melt them. Another good thing with Leon is his invisibility. So when he is the boss, he's gonna do massive amounts of damage, and his range is crazy, and his movement speed is insane. If you have the star power, you can literally zip around the map and survive. I've showed this when I did the max bet Leon's video. Oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna do a max bet video again as well in addition today, so stay tuned for that. But Leon, it's crazy, man. Like, you can literally just run around the map and juke people out so much, because unless they're within that 4 tile range of you, you're not going to be seen. So you can hide, you can just chill for like 10 seconds, whatever. You can melt people up close to clear a path to run away. And Leon as a boss is insane, and he's very good as a hunter. Now the 5th spot here, I couldn't pick one, but there's so many good brawlers that could fall here. Shelly, as a hunter, I think she's a little better. Her super is very devastating. It's, if you have the star power, it slows them down as well, and they just can't move. It's so cool when you see 2 Shellys just super stacking back and forth, back and forth. And this used to be a huge issue with another, like number 5, I'd put Frank here. He's definitely not as good as he used to be, but he's still a pretty solid choice because of his stun. But Frank used to be like the absolute best brawler in boss fight, especially for like when you're hunting and trying to take care of the big boss, because you could literally have 2 Franks super stacking. If you don't know what super stacking, basically it's like you get your super back to back to back after your auto attacks and whatnot, and you just keep going at it. But if you timed it right, 1 Frank would stun the big boss, then the other Frank will go in and stun the boss again, and the boss literally could not move. So that's how you destroy brawlers within like 45 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. But now they kind of have reduced how long his stun lasts in this game mode, so he's not as good. The stun is like very minimal. The boss can still run pretty quickly, so Frank did receive a huge nerf with this, and I think Shelly's slow time did as well, or just stuns in general. So sadly, I see he's overall still good though. He does a lot of damage, can open up the map, gets that little brief stun, but he's not as good. So I put Frank and Shelly at 5 in there, and I'm also gonna throw Pam up here too. She's pretty nasty as a boss too. Her healing turret, obviously, you don't feel it too much with yourself. Like a lot of the healing brawlers, it's very minimal. It still helps a little bit if you get the turret down, plus if you have her star power, she heals up as the boss. But just in general, I feel like she's a good support to help keep your hunters in the fight when she's trying to take care of the boss with like the turret and stuff. And then if you have a star power, anyone around you will heal up too. So that's what we have Pam up at number 5. There's usually like a lot of brawlers that could be thrown in here, but these are the ones I would try and stick to because they're the most versatile if they're the boss or if they're not. Now, the worst brawlers, my number for 1 choice, which I think is the absolute worst brawler, I would say Piper. The reason for this, for maps like this, you see there's a lot of walls. Yes, you can open it up, good, but a lot of times the boss is so quick, you're not going to get a lot of long-range shots off, and you're so weak, you're just going to get melted. Like, she's going to die in a couple of hits, and then on top of that too, she reloads so slow, so even if you hit your shots, so that's why I think Piper, please, for the love of God, do not run her in boss fight. People will be mad at you. Number 2, I would put Mortis here. The reason for this is Mortis can be okay as the boss, but he is a terrible hunter. He is one of the worst hunters because he's kind of useless. Like he'll basically just die right away when he gets on top of like the brawler because they're gonna usually one-shot him. But what makes him okay as when he's like the boss is because of his movement speed, And his dashes, he'll basically take care of most brawlers in one dash with that buffed attack damage and HP. So I will say though, it's so random. There is no rhyme or reason. It just comes down to luck if you are the boss. But you are going to be at a severe disadvantage if you have a Mortis on your team trying to take care of that bosses faster. So that's why I would put Brawlers ahead. That's why I say don't use him, because the chance is not in your favor to be the boss. And if you do, you're just gonna kind of screw over your teammates. So that's why I have him at number 2. Please do not play Mortis, because just play Brawlers that are overall can be good in both roles. But now, number 3, I am going to put Dynamite. The reason for this, it's hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard for you to hit your shots on him because that Brawler is moving quick. The reason why Barley's not on the top 5 worst is because at least his main attack stays on the ground, and if they walk through it, they're going to be dealt a little bit of damage, and his super is such a wide range, or does a lot of damage too. So Barley's not on the worst list, but Dynamite is, because his shots are hard to hit, or his main attack, his Dynamite is hard, or his Dynamite is hard to throw and hit the boss. So, and he's not very good as the main boss either. So Dynamite, number 3. Number 4, I wanted to put him higher, or not on this bottom tier, but I had to throw someone on here, and it's gonna be Poco. The reason for this, he is very good as a hunter for healing up your teammates, but he is does not a lot of damage. Like he kind of just barely tickles the main brawler or the main boss. Now when you are the boss, it's nice having that big wide AoE like range of his attack, but he does kind of not, he feels like a little bit underwhelming. So that's why I put him on the worst slot here. Yes, he can heal up like the hunters with you, but he's just not going to deal a whole lot of damage. And when he's the boss, his super doesn't really do anything. I think they nerfed the heal on their supers or stuff, or it's just super ineffective and it doesn't scale. And then number 5, we have Brock. It's kind of the same reasons as Piper, because he has a very slow reload time. Yes, if you can hit those shots, great. But his super is a little bit better than Piper, so that's why I put him at the number 5 spot. Like, the absolute worst is number 1, which would be Piper. But Brock, he's very weak as well. I'd say he's definitely a lot better than Piper, so there's a big steep slope here. But I just had to choose someone for this 5th spot, and I just chose Brock because, like I said, the reload time is really hindering to him. I don't know, the last 2 of them, the worst was tough. Originally, I was only going to share the 3 worst. But then I was like, yeah, no, I did 5 good ones with a bunch of others thrown in there. So boss fight is actually the hardest to get the most tokens for your tickets. I would say it's still great value for the 80 gems for 60 tickets. And the, I forget the other one. The middle one. The middle offer for tickets is great. And then the 10 gems for 6 tickets, stay away from that one. But those tickets, if you buy them this weekend, boss fight honestly is not the biggest bang for your buck. The better choice is to save them for Robo Rumble and just try and go for that 6-minute 15 mark or around the 5-minute mark. It's a lot easier to do to get a better time and get that max rewards. As we're boss fight, it's very difficult. Like, as a hunter, it's hard to take out the boss under like a minute and 15 seconds or 20 seconds to get that over 500 tokens, and then it's tough as the boss to survive like over, it's even hard to survive like around 3 minutes. So for those reasons, I would say that is why it's difficult to get like the max. If you're just going for straight progression and tokens, maybe wait and save your tickets. Now if you're in it for the enjoyment purposes and which is the most fun, I think boss fight, big game. Sorry for those of you that are beta players, you know it used to be called boss fight. Hopefully these tips help you. Let me know what you guys think of my brawler list and everything. Let me know if you agree, you disagree, or anything. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But let me know if this is your favorite ticketed event. It is personally mine. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Stay tuned. Like I said, I'll have another video out today doing some max bets, probably with all legendaries and everything. So subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys later.